if you don't know what this is, this fine piece of hardware of gold and leather is the WWE European Championship, a fixture of WWE's championship lineup of the late 1990s. A mid-card title akin to the Intercontinental Championship or today's United States title, it gave WWF's talent at the time of the pre-Attitude Era into the Attitude Era undercard prizes to fight after, as well as adding stakes to several lower card feuds to give them a little bit more oomph. It was strapped both to big stars and unexpected names during its 5-year run as an active title to compete for, but several reasons have led to its the WWE European Championship. The European Championship was created in February of 1997, a convenient way for the still then WWF to simultaneously introduce a new title. WWE was deep in the throes of their war with the well-financed WCW, which had gained momentum and a lead in the ratings war in the United States. Looking to pivot to a more favorable foreign market outside of the continental United States, WWE felt the need to find something different to make themselves stand out. And this is backed up on the Something Else to Wrestle podcast with WWE creative executive Bruce Pritchard speaking about WWE presenting more international live event tours, and WWE head honcho at the time, Vince McMahon, feeling that those international tours needed their own prize to make them even more special. So during an overseas tour of Germany, a tournament took place to crown the first ever WWE European Champion. The 8-man bracket was filled with the likes of Mankind, Triple H, Vader, Flash Funk, regional favorite Bret the Hitman Hart, The Rock in his early days as Rocky Maivia, but the final would take place with the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, defeating his brother-in-law and tag team partner Owen Hart to become the first WWE European Champion, and it earned a 9 out of 10 on CageMatch.net. It was one of the best televised matches for WWE that year and is underrated in retrospect. WWE veteran and the brawny British Bulldog was the given choice to win the title for the first time, given he was the actually only European in the tournament and was always seen as a believable performer in the eyes of diehard and casual fans alike. He would hold the belt for over 200 days. The inaugural reign would shockingly come to an end in the Bulldogs' home soil of Birmingham, England, at the one-night-only pay-per-view event. Allegedly, the Bulldog, who was dedicating the contest to his terminally ill sister, was told that he would be winning the title in a valiant moment in front of his countrymen and homeland. But one vague reason or another came about backstage, and WWE changed their plans at the last minute, with the challenger and the despised, cocky villain in Heartbreak Kid Shawn Michaels ending up leaving with the championship. Michaels was suspected, reportedly, of backstage politicking, but this has never been proven, but the decision was entirely on WWE's side, or so the story goes. And the fans in attendance were not exactly happy with the result. Now in life, their unhappiness had to be expressed, maybe with booze, but this was a pelt the ring with garbage level of unhappiness. Not what you'd call the best start of the life of a championship that's new to WWE fans. Rolling into December of 1997, Michaels, who was also the WWE champion, he needed another title, was ordered to defend the European Championship against his good running buddy Triple H, a match that saw Shawn intentionally lose, making his DX stablemate and cohort the third ever holder of the title, literally giving it away in the process, and probably diminishing its glory to a certain amount, or a complete amount. Helmsley and Owen Hart would trade it back and forth until July 14th, 1998, when one of the belt's most iconic holders would begin his first reign with it. D'Lo was billed from different European nations every single week and was also the first Euro-Continental champion, simultaneously holding both the European and Intercontinental championships at the same time. Brown would drop the title to X-Pac 63 days later and would himself win it back just 2 weeks after that. He would lose it back to X-Pac once again at the Judgment Day pay-per-view in October of 1998, kicking off a 120-day reign for X-Pac in the process. The man to dethrone him would be Shane McMahon, yes, the son of Mr. McMahon, who would then make his own mark in the bizarre lineage of the European Championship. First by winning the title in a tag team match, I know that's weird, thanks to some pre-match stipulations, because he's a McMahon. Yeah, it was weird. It didn't make it feel like a fighting championship in that circumstance. Secondly, Shane would retire the belt, noting that he wanted to go down in history as an undefeated champion, before completely undoing that by gifting the title to Mideon. Yeah, Mideon in June of 1999. The reason? Mideon found the retired belt in Shane McMahon's bag. He just found it. Once again, the title had been given away, doing wonders to its credibility. D'Lo won the title back the next month. Okay, we're going in a positive direction, before losing it to Double J Jeff Jarrett at SummerSlam 1999. This kicked off the colossal reign of one whole day as Eurocontinental Champion for Double J. Yeah, he also had the IC title at the time. But Jarrett didn't lose the European title in a match. No, he gifted it to Mark Henry, who helped him topple D'Lo at SummerSlam. Why are we treating this like a gift that people just keep giving to someone else? D'Lo Brown would take the title back at the Unforgiven pay-per-view just over a month later. There you go, D'Lo. And beginning his record of holding a fourth and final reign with the belt. The returning British Bulldog would hold it next, still the first and only European to hold the championship at the time. His 40-day reign was ended by, Val Venis, who captured the gold in a triple threat match at the Armageddon pay-per-view, also featuring D'Lo Brown. You can no longer claim that you're from Europe. It's okay. Being from Chicago is not that bad. International prestige would be star-dusted upon the European Championship, with Olympic gold medalist and all-around wrestling icon Kurt Angle holding it next, giving it some much-needed credibility. He even enjoyed a reign as a Eurocontinental Champion, wasn't that convenient, taking down Chris Jericho to briefly unify the championships. Angle would lose both belts in a triple threat match against Chris Benoit and Jericho at WrestleMania 2000 under a strange stipulation where each fall was contested for a separate championship. Benoit would walk out with the IC title. Jericho would leave with the European Championship, baby. The brash and braggadocious Jericho would reign himself and last only one day. Yes, Eddie's short and less meaningful reigns with the European Championship were basically WWE's active philosophy with it, with a 111-day reign of Eddie Guerrero, Latino Heat. It was a championship reign that really started to establish him as a single superstar in WWE's ranks, and one of the longest and most memorable in the belt's lineage. Guerrero, in his time with the championship, provided some great matches, including an underrated banger of a gem with S.A. Rios. Hands up to the real ones who remember S.A. Rios, probably a very underrated high flyer. Once again, everything with this championship tends to be underrated. Eddie even defended the championship in Europe. What a crazy idea for a belt called the European Championship to be defended in, of all places, Europe. I know, yeah, successfully defending it against Chris Jericho at the Insurrection event in London in 2000. Fellow Radical Party member Perry Saturn would take the belt from Guerrero in July of 2000, enjoying an uneventful run with it. A fate that would also befall Al Snow, the next man to dethrone Saturn for the title. William Regal, a European, yes, and one of the most violent men in WWE, would defeat Al Snow to become the second and final European to hold the championship. Yes, the European Championship. Are you starting to see a problem yet? Regal defended the belt against the likes of Naked Mideon before dropping it to Crash Holly for a measly 2 days, regaining it quickly and going on a 48-day run. The Gigantic Test would be the man to beat him in January of 2001 on Monday Night Raw. who was himself defeated by Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania X7 thanks to Test. A young Matt Hardy then captured the title, enjoying a 112-day reign as he established himself as V1. Though impressive in length, Hardy's reign lacked the substance to restore any credibility to the championship, which he rarely defended at all. After the long and uneventful Matt Hardy run, the European Championship was in real need of being saved. Who would save the WWE European Championship but WWE's resident superhero, the Hurricane, with the help of Ivory? The fun part of this was Shane Helms' first ever appearance as the Hurricane character, a character that would define his in-ring career. Just another bizarre feather in the cap of the European Championship. Bradshaw with clotheslines from hell would take the title for 8 days. Following this, yet another throwaway reign in the championship's history before Christian would best him in an untelevised match. Yeah, that's right, untelevised. It was so inconsequential in the grand scheme of WWE that the title match didn't even need to be included in television and was cut out for time constraints. And it had nothing to do with Mr. McMahon or his alleged disliking of Christian, reportedly. Nothing at all. Up next was WCW favorite Diamond Dallas Page, who captured the European gold at the ripe old age of 46, becoming the oldest competitor to win the prize, which was his only singles championship during his short WWE career. He even got a WrestleMania win out of it, convincingly beating Christian at WrestleMania X8 in Canada. This match would be the last high-profile defense of the championship, which became a Raw exclusive title during the initial 2002 brand split. The next champ was once again the bruiser from Britain, William Regal, who found himself in a feud with Spike Dudley over the gold. At this time, WWE became WWE thanks to a legal campaign from the World Wildlife Federation, so now it was officially the WWE European Championship. Regal and Spike would trade it back and forth, with Regal picking up a fourth and record-breaking reign as a result, the Blackpool native tying D'Lo Brown's all-time effort in the process. He enjoyed a 60-day reign with the now doomed championship before Jeff Hardy would swan-ton his way into European Championship gold. We're still calling it gold. 2 weeks later, WWE presented a Eurocontinental Championship ladder match, pitting the European champion Jeff Hardy against another high flyer and Intercontinental champion Rob Van Dam, a battle of iconic high flyers, with the winner taking all at the top of the ladder. However, it was stated that the match was exclusively for the Intercontinental title, with the European Championship being absorbed and retired by the winner. Simply put, whatever the outcome was, the European Championship would cease to exist after the final bell. Rob Van Dam would win the convincing, brutal, violent match and both titles in the process, an honor being fitting for him being the final WWE European Champion, even though he wasn't exactly recognized as the final champion at the time. A complicated end to a complicated life for a complicated championship. And was never really seen as a reign that lasted very long with much of anyone who got to hold it. Not to mention, it was hardly ever defended in Europe. Granted, it did give talented mid-carders like D'Lo Brown, giving them stakes, more than just winning and losing, but winning a title. But there's no denying it had wasted potential. The constant devaluing, the hot potato booking, and the many needless champions that left the belt meandering around almost made it feel worthless at the end. Though the ladder match was a fun and exciting end, what started out as a way to tap into the European market and showcase European talent ended up as an afterthought, plagued by blunders, but also a very thick roster. Only 2 men from Europe ever held the title, and they were both from the UK. They could have renamed it the WWE United Kingdom Championship, but that's another belt with another story for another time. One could argue, and I know we're getting into the semantics here, that the European title would have made a bigger impact in the plethora of European talent at the top level in WWE in recent years. A future Hall of Famer in Sheamus, former WWE World Champion Drew McIntyre, the Bruiserweight Pete Dunne, the ultimate chopping machine in Gunther, the conniving Ludwig Kaiser, or even the one himself, the demon Finn Balor, could have done wonders for a championship like that, as could have Rusev during his run in the mid-2010s as a Russian sympathizing monster heel flanked by Lana, or during his career-defining run as Rusev Day. Yes, he was a United States champion after all and could have turned it into a whole transatlantic thing. Oh, isn't that a nice what-if to bring up? It doesn't seem like the European Championship was set for a comeback anytime soon. I wouldn't expect it. Never say never. Would you like to see a championship like the European Championship return or something like it introduced? Who is your favorite champion to hold the belt? Let us know what you think of lower card championships in WWE and subscribe to Sportskeeda Wrestling for more great wrestling stuff just like this.